Thank you, Furniture Godfather, for inviting me here today on the occasion of gold leafing this piece of furniture in beautiful gold leaf.
Well, why did you come to me now? Why is it you did not study your book and pay attention in class? For this, you will have to watch today's show on Furniture on the Mend. You know that.
Welcome to
Furniture on the Mend.
Right, with me, Joe Lorario.
I've lived in small
and him, Ed
apartments.
Feldman. And today we're going to be doing the rubbing out of the piece. Remember last week we stained it, we repaired it, we did some shellacking. We're going to rub it out today, and we're going to do the gold leafing. So as soon as we get out of here, this is big enough for the two of us, I'll tell you.
Yeah. All right, let's begin.
We're going to begin with rubbing out.
With a wool lube.
Now, what is a wool lube, you might ask?
As well you might.
A wool lube is this wonderful material. See it? You take a steel wool pad. It's a 4-0 steel wool pad. You want it wet. And this is for abrasion. It's for smoothing.
Okay.
Now, all you have to do is you go in the direction of the grain. Remember, we put about 5 coats of shellac on this. And you rub. And in the summertime, this is especially good because all the water runs right down here and puddles right in your armpit.
And I'm just going to go inside here. I'm going to vote straight socialist this time.
Now, why am I doing this? This is another form of rubbing out. This makes the wood smooth. It makes it reflective. Now, I'll just take some paper towels and wipe off the excess.
Finished with the wool lube, we're going to go to something else.
We're going to the lemon pad. You know what this is?
Yes, I do.
What?
It's cream. It's cream cheese
It's your favorite pie. No, this is an
cream cheese from Kenya.
An automotive paste.
We knew that.
It's a wax for your car. We've done dark wax, we've made wax, we've done lots of other things, and this is another type of wax you can use.
With water.
Comes with its own pad. You wet the pad, and you take a little bit of this.
It won't hurt wood. It'll
Not a
help
lot.
it.
And you just go around in a circle, and you're going to get water on you if you don't.
I was going to go practice my acting faces. Wistful. Thoughtful. Pensive.
They're all the same face.
No, I use my teeth in the pensive.
Okay, now you apply that. You let it sit until it turns cloudy. See that? And now you just buff it off. Buffs off very easily. We are going to gold leaf, and we are going to use
Real gold leaf, 23 karat.
That's right.
But first you must prepare the surface by sizing. But what did we do before sizing?
First, you have to size up, but before you size up, you got to clean. Remember, this piece was stripped when we got it, but there still was some residue in all of the carvings, and we went ahead and cleaned all that out, used some scrub brushes and some brass brushes, got all the dirt that was still in the cracks and the crevices.
And then shellac.
And then I shellacked it with a 3-pound cut. I took a 3-pound cut shellac out of a can, and I diluted it with about 2 parts alcohol. So 1 part shellac, 2 parts alcohol, a little thicker than a spit coat, and I brushed on two coats of that. And now it's dry, and now we're going to apply the size. The size is very important. It's what the leaf sticks to.
Now, what is size?
Size is a varnish. It's an amber varnish, and it's especially prepared for leafing. This stuff dries in about, well, it won't set up for about 12 hours, so you have enough time to work with it.
Now, added to that size, we have something called Venetian red.
This is an oil color. It's a Japan oil color. It's a pigment suspended in oil and solvent. And what that's going to do is going to color, just like I have here in the tuna fish can. This is some varnish.
The lovely. Always keep some tuna fish cans around for just
Now, how do you know how much Venetian red to put in? Well, you want to put enough in so that it's opaque. So it looks opaque on the stick.
And this sizing, which is what the leaf will stick to, added to the Venetian red color, will also give a nice background color and make the gold leaf stand out even more.
That's right. A lot of times when they do silver leaf, for instance, they'll put a blue size on because the blue undercoating makes the silver appear much more brilliant.
You know, there's more than one kind of leaf. There was something that came from Egyptian times called water leaf.
It's called water leaf or water gilding, which is a ridiculous, it's not ridiculous, it's a beautiful technique, but it's a crazy, it's so involved.
20 steps.
20 steps involved, lots of sanding and that. You don't want to do that. We're going to do a slow size.
With oil leaf, what's called oil leaf, and you will not be able to tell the difference between oil leaf and the water leaf.
Well, unfortunately, the 7 people who still do the water leafing, they will know.
They're going to write us letters and call us punks. But we're going to be doing the oil leaf, 23 karat, and let's begin to size.
Well, you want to use a brush. This is a number 606. It's a sable, but it's a flat brush, and I'm going to use this to apply the size. This is strictly for varnishing. It's very soft bristled, and this will get into all the nooks and crannies. Main thing when you're putting the size on, too, is you don't want any drips, because the drips will severely affect the leafing process.
You also don't want any puddles.
That's right.
Because if you size, especially in these little grooves and all the turnings there, if the size puddles up and isn't just a nice flat coat, what will happen is it will skin over.
Right.
And when you apply the gold leaf, and you'll see we have to tamp it down.
You'll tamp into a big bubble, and it'll spurt open, and then you'll have a mess.
You've got such sores you wouldn't believe.
So you want to put it on as flat and as even as possible so that it all dries evenly, too. And just remember that any time you apply this size, wherever it drips, that's where the leaf is going to attach to.
Now this size will set up in anywhere from 4 to 12 hours, depending on drying conditions. In a studio like this, under hot lights, it's going to be closer to 4 than to 12. But after it does set up, and you will know that because it will be tacky, yet not wet, you have another 12 hours on which to apply your leaf. So you're going to have plenty of time.
This program is brought to you in part by Black & Decker. It's how things get done.
Black & Decker has just made jobs around the house a lot easier to do with the VersaPack interchangeable battery system. With VersaPack, you get more for your money because one set of rechargeable batteries powers over 20 different Black & Decker cordless tools. VersaPack from Black & Decker. It's how things get done.
The Krylon Touch means making the old look new. The Krylon Touch. And the boring becomes beautiful. Show your true colors. Don't just paint, give it the Krylon Touch. Only with Krylon.
Life's full of challenges. Drive a car you can depend on, the Nissan Sentra.
Hold on tight for Twister season. You've heard about the movie. Now live through the real thing.
It is really amazing what a tornado can do.
Follow real storm chasers on a path to destruction. Join us for Wonders of Weather, Tornadoes, tonight at 9 on TLC.
So now we're going to apply the gold leaf. And it's real 23 karat gold leaf. It comes in a little book like this, and it's got 25 leaves. And each leaf is got a piece of tissue paper covering it. Let me see if I can pick this up just to display it. That is real gold, and it's thinner than tissue paper. Very, very thin leaf. How do you get that from the book onto the foot? Well, it's a little amazing thing called static electricity. And you use this brush. The hairs are very flimsy, and you create static electricity by brushing this on a sweater. You lift the leaf, and then you apply the leaf to the surface, then it is tamped down with a brush, pushing the leaf, which then turns the powder onto the size. It's not sticking to anything but the size. You just push it into all the cracks. Now, it's difficult for me to talk because when I talk, my breath is going to blow the leaf all around. Don't do this with a fan on either. I mean, now, sometimes after you're finished the leaf, some gilders, what they'll do is they'll throw a wash coat of shellac over top, or even a spirit varnish or a Damar varnish to protect it. I'm putting the last piece of leaf on. I stood the piece up because I wanted to make sure any of the nooks and crannies that I missed, I was able to fill in. I'm going to put the last piece of leaf on right in here on these two toes. And notice I have a black piece of cardboard I put down to catch any of the gold because it's still good. Come on, darling. There we go. Now, the final step is to brush all the excess off with a soft brush. And then just take a little bit of cotton. There's some cotton here, and you can rub. And you want to let it dry a little bit. I'm going to scoop up all of this gold too. I'll put it in a little container, and that way it can be used later on for detail work, especially when you have to get inside of these little, like around the nails or any kind of detail. This stuff is good for that. If you have some bare spots, you don't want to go on with the size, you can just take a little, I got a little bit of shellac in this lid and a very fine brush, and you can just tap it on, a little bit of shellac, and let it tack up a little bit. And I would say anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute for it to tack up. And stick a piece on there. And then just tamp it in. But that's only for touch-up. You can't do the whole gold leafing job like that.
Gold leafing, part 2. I have the column. I've already done the bottom. Now I'm going to do the top, and you're going to watch, aren't you? Now this, as we said before, as Joe said before, is not cheap stuff. A book like this costs $40. However, if you don't want to buy real gold leaf, you can buy fake gold leaf, which is not to say bad fake gold leaf. It's much larger. Look how much more you get for your money. And it's a lot less. A book like this, gosh knows, I think it was like $6. Less than, maybe $10. If we show them both together, you can see the difference. Yes, the fake gold leaf looks a little bit more like a candy wrapper. But the important thing is, if you do everything in the fake gold leaf, no one's going to have anything to compare it to, and they'll like it, believe me. So I'll do the top of the column, which has been sized. All the leafing is done on our beautiful Empire wardrobe.
But it took us, what, a couple hours? I guess to do everything.
At least.
And we got about $300 worth of gold leaf on here, too.
Don't tell them.
Well, it's the truth.
So we leafed, as you can see, the columns and feet. Now the key up top, we did something slightly different.
Well, we didn't want to spend any more money, so we took some gold spray paint, some primer, and some orange shellac.
Right.
And we took some shellac and brushed it onto the key, and then we sprayed on a primer, and then we sprayed on a gold paint. We found as close as we could to the real gold, the same kind of gold color. And then we put a patina on it with the orange shellac. And this is sometimes done when you're using a false or a fake gold leaf. They'll brush on an orange shellac, one or two spit coats. I know I used to do that for a place where I worked because I couldn't afford real gold leaf.
I think it's a nice match. let's recap what kind of finish is on this. We mixed that stain.
Well, we had the oil stain. Remember, we wanted to keep as close to the original color of the wood, and since it did have an aniline dye on there, we just used an oil stain over the entire carcass and the columns. We used the special walnut and the burnt sienna and the Venetian red, brushed that on, and then we wiped it off, and then we shellacked it with the orange shellac about 5 times. Remember the crown, we had the stain also with the aniline dye because it wouldn't get as dark as the wood is new on the crown. So,
and then we did a little touch-up.
And then we rubbed it out.
And put the door back on. Now, there's nothing in the door.
There were a lot of steps, believe me, coming.
Nothing in the door. You might want a mirror in here, perhaps a full-length picture of your favorite emperor. Now, as far as taking care of this gold leaf should not be bumped repeatedly with your Hoover upright.
No, it should not. It shouldn't be right next to the TV where the kids are going to gnaw at it and the dogs are going to gnaw at it. Well, I would think that if you had the money to spend on doing something like this and something that you wanted to cherish, you would put it like in a nice safe place.
Yeah, the parlor where no one's allowed to go.
That's right.
You know what I'm talking about.
On the $20,000 rug, maybe.
Stay tuned. We've convinced Martin Yan to come on with us next.
Too much acid in your pipes? Better call Rainsoft.
In places where people need an air conditioner that lasts a long, long, long time, they know.
Okay, kid, run up and see if anybody's home.
It's hard to stop a train.
How do you like what we've done with this place?
Yeah, we really have come a long way in here.
You remember those old beanbag chairs?
We wanted something really different, so we went to Pier 1. Pretty cool, huh?
Find the good things you're looking for at Pier 1 Imports for a change.
Saturday.
It's a wall of water.
And
what makes Milo fly? Peak Performance, Saturday at 10 on TLC.
Get ready for how-to advice from the ground up on the Renovation Guide, coming up next. Then, double your knowledge, double your fun with back-to-back episodes of Home Time. It's all next right here on TLC.
Ordinary credit cards charge interest from the moment you buy something, if you carry a balance as little as $1.
I didn't know that.
It's true, but the Optima True Grace card from American Express doesn't. So you could save money by switching to the Optima True Grace card.
I can?
Yes, you can. Apply now and you'll also get a special low introductory rate of just 7.9% for 12 months. And there's no annual fee, so you'll save even more. Start saving on interest charges. Don't delay. Call for your Optima True Grace card from American Express. Remember, the Optima True Grace card is the first major credit card with an interest-free grace period, even when you carry a balance.
And that adds up to a lot of savings.
You can apply right over the phone. Call 1-800-631-6300. Stop paying interest you don't have to, now.
We're back with TLC cooking master and all-around nice guy, Martin Yan.
You know, I can't tell you guys how much I enjoy using this chopping block you guys gave me about 4 months ago. But I would like to ask just for some expert opinion. How am I going to keep this clean and protect this cutting board? Because I always tell my audience, the furniture guys gave me this beautiful chopping block, and everybody always asks me the same thing.
What's that?
Hey, who are the heck these furniture guys? Where are they coming from?
By the way, Martin, what did you do with that great big upholstery needle I gave you?
I've been putting buttons all over my chickens. Some single breast, some double breast, and some special order vest.
Look, I can tell you how to take care of this. It's real easy. All you got to do is the first thing, every time you get done, you clean it with soap and water. Put it in the sink, clean it with soap and water, and wipe it down.
Yeah.
Just don't let it sit in the sink, because you know what's going to happen.
It's
It's going to warp.
Yeah, it will warp.
Now that'll protect, that'll clean it.
Now,
But you want to protect it.
Now, overnight, sometimes you get fat and things down in the grain.
From meat and stuff like that.
What
so
you do
you
is
put down this salt.
You cover it with coarse salt. And you spread that all around.
Yeah, you spread it all around nice.
All around nice, huh?
And then let it sit overnight.
That's great. Let's all they would absorb all the oil and all the grease.
This is just what the butchers do. Before they leave their shop at night, they spread salt all over the cutting block they've been cutting on all day.
Wow,
they come in the morning and they wipe it off.
This is how they do in butcher block. Actually, I've been chopping and slicing and doing all those things.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to seal it up. So what am I going to do? I got some paraffin wax here. See, this is a block of paraffin wax. You buy it at a hardware store, but a plane. And you take a plane, or you could use a knife, too. And you just shave it down till you get these little curls and throw them into a bucket. And I got water in here. Turned the hot plate on. I melted it down.
Like a double boiler.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now the wax is hot and it's clear.
Yes.
So now I just paint it on, and it's going to dry real fast.
You're going to basically seal it.
That's right. It's going to seal it to protect it.
Oh, look at that. I have never seen this before. Everybody should know. I'm going to tell everybody.
Now it dries real fast.
And now you have to do something else because it'll dry right away, and you have to...
So you see how it's turning white? It's drying real fast. But now I got to scrape it off. I'm going to use...
Okay, that sounds familiar. This is my turn.
But you don't want to scrape it with that.
I told him not to do it in front of you, Martin.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Wow, look at that. You're actually scraping.
Now I've taken off the excess, but it still leaves a fine coat on here.
Look at this.
Look at that, like a piece of fabric.
Yeah.
And we could make wax lips out of this if we wanted to.
Look at that.
See how that comes off?
Wow.
All right, stop.
I can't help it. Ever since I saw him doing that.
Look at that. This is truly amazing.
Now, there's still a little bit of wax on it. What you do is you take a piece of burlap.
Yes.
And you rub.
You rub. And you smooth out the surface.
I didn't come here to ask for a total body walkout. Oh, I said walk out. Not work out.
That's a lot.
Thanks, Mark.
We got letters.
Send us letters, send us pictures. Send us any pastries, too. I have a letter from...
Muffins I like.
And I like anything with a gooey and a fruit.
Anything gooey and creamy.
Irene Fulton writes, to whom it may concern. Don't they know our names by now? I watch Furniture on the Mend every weekend and find it very informative. You know, we're on during the week, too, so don't have a life.
But weekends, people are home, so just keep reading.
This past weekend, the guys fixed the back of a love seat.
Guys, that's us.
As it turns out, I have a love seat that needs repair on the top due to a large hole worn in the fabric by my dog, who sits on top of the love seat every day to look out the window.
Right on top.
What I need to know is where they, or we, got the fabric for the love seat that we did that time. As it happens, my love seat is covered in the same fabric.
The same fabric?
That's serendipity.
Amazing.
So I was wondering if perhaps you could give me a lead on where you either got the love seat or the fabric to fix it.
Love seat, trash.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you how to figure out how to get it. If you look under your love seat, you will find the tag that says, "Do not remove under penalty of law." On the bottom of that tag will be the manufacturer's name. I guess the first thing you should do is call the furniture store, but knowing furniture stores as I do, they'll say, "We'll get right back to you." So look at that tag. You'll find the manufacturer and a code number. Call that manufacturer in North Carolina or wherever the heck they are. And tell the people at the factory that you're an upholsterer. Don't tell them you bought the sofa. Tell them you're an upholsterer and you need some yardage.
Talk like this. I'm an upholsterer.
Yes, drop that down.
Or have an uncle or a
Go for a
brother
William Bendix or a Broderick Crawford. Try.
Broderick Crawford. I'm an upholsterer. I'm an upholsterer.
And ask them what if it's a love seat. Ask them for 7 yards, and tell them.
Can I have 7 yards of upholstery fabric?
10-4. And then tell them to invoice you. Don't say bill me. If you say bill me, they'll know you're just a person with a love seat.
So,
say invoice me.
Invoice me, please.
Take your last name and add upholstery company
but
to
don't
it.
say Crawford. You get done the whole strip.
Yeah.
Don't say
so
Crawford.
Irene Fulton, say, this is Fulton Upholstery calling from Oak Bridge, New Jersey, okay?
Okay.
Over to you, my friend.
That's good. Well, this is more of like an adulation letter.
We like everyone.
Dear this is from Nadine Carmody. Dear Joe and Ed, great show. I'm hooked. Help. I can't tape the episode, so do you have a book? I checked at bookstores, and they don't have anything yet.
I got a book. Heidi.
Well, we don't have any book, but we're coming out with a record and a film strip with a boink. You know, you
A little cricket.
and you turn it a cricket. So that'll become, and a flip book we're going to have.
We're doing a flip book of the Chaise Lounge project. It's this thick. You have to get a friend to help you flip it.
That's right.
Here's one from Cynthia Cindy Morey of Roselle Park, New Jersey.
Cynthia Cindy?
Well,
parentheses. Okay.
Parentheses, Roselle Park. Pete would be so proud. He doesn't have a job, but they named a town after him. Dear guys, please see enclosed photo, and she did indeed enclose a photo. Basically, I was wondering how to refinish this piece as well as how to reupholster. Well, we have 30 seconds left. I think we can cover that. I dragged this piece from the recycling heap, garbage, and was once quoted $850 just to reupholster with the springs.
That's about right.
Cindy, that's not a bad price.
Well, the first thing, before you upholster it, you want to strip the piece. You must strip the piece first.
Always do
and
wood repair
refinish
first.
before you do any kind of upholstery work.
Over and above that, since
Go buy a book.
Yes, you can go to a how-to bookstore, a big bookstore, and very often buy the books with the most photographs in it, and sometimes they'll give you projects, full projects start to finish. Some books have about 7 or 8 of them in there that might very closely resemble your particular piece.
They give you the particulars as far as detailing go and how to lay in the webbing and the springs and the, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I never read one of them.
Well,
so until, that's our letter segment.
That was a long letter segment.
And a lovely one it was. Remember, my name is Ed Feldman.
And my name is Joe Lorario, so please, be nice to him and your furniture. Bye. You gonna put a button on the chicken?
You can do it. Calm down,
Make sure
kid.
it's dead first.
We ain't gonna hurt you. You have to find a soft, fleshy spot.
Put it on a block of tofu.
And then you pull all the way through, right? Now you got one button on. This is just like an outside back, see? You got to go through the same hole. Right? What we're doing is making a loop through the stuffing.
And nobody likes lumpy stuffing, let's put it that way.
And then we pull back out and we see, I think...